And welcome back to episode 45 of A Toy Kind of Mood. I'm your co-host, Bobby Bearhart, and with me, once again, is Trav Moody, and again, awesomely, KJ. What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going?
All right, so today's episode is a little bit different. Let me get my podcast voice down. That way it's a little smoother, a little easier to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been doing literally every episode has been either a fan first or we got the interview with Gridiron, which was awesome. That was episode 0.44. But we're kind of grinding ourselves down to the nubs, and it's getting a little tiresome, a little aggravating, a little holy shit, what the F am I doing now? And that's what this episode is, mainly because 2020 was such a shit show. We needed something to get us out of it. And we talked about last year at the end of 2020 how action figures kind of saved us. But is that savior, much like heroin was the savior for morphine, starting to become a little much for us? All right, so I think just one answer, yes, no. Is this action figures becoming now the heroin of collecting? KJ, yes or no?
I'm gonna go with a maybe. I'm leaning yes because I have to beat everybody to the button press. Like I have like maybe a 5-second window to order some of these things.
Yep.
Like the Sunman figure came out on Mattel, and I was like, I'm not gonna get this figure.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was supposed to be in a meeting, and I was like, refresh, and I got it, right? But it's like you're racing everybody, so you're not having to pay an aftermarket price, so you don't miss out, so you don't have fear of missing out. Because you want a complete collection. There are certain collections that are so hard to collect, I don't even bother. Like how like some cats don't want to smoke weed because they don't want to go back to smoking. Like I don't go after NECA Ninja Turtles because I don't want to pay $100 for each figure because I know me. So actually, I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay,
yes. Out of me.
There we go. Yes, Trav, yes or no?
Well, based on the years of experience I have with heroin, no, like I have no idea. I don't know. I wouldn't know because, but as far as addiction, I can see that for sure. A lot of it. I don't think if we had the Facebook groups and the Instagram alerts, we would be as addicted. I think a lot of it is swirled with being part of something like a community.
Yeah.
Part of that comes with hype. And, as soon as we wake up, we hit that button on that app, on that phone. And first thing you see is a lot of stuff that's really cool that gets your mind off the crap going on, whatever it is in life. And you want to be a part of that. And how do you be a part of that? You kind of you got to level up, if you will. Level up, That's why we had that interview with Mark last time. By the way, our most successful episode ever. Most views. Thank you, everyone, for watching that. KJ, you were awesome on it.
Yeah, we're great on that.
Yeah, likewise.
And just to segue into that, we're gonna have a slight follow up. As you know, with GI Joe, we got Breaker, the release, so we're gonna be doing a box, not a complete unboxing and not like an intense like whoosh review or anything, but just kind of comparing it and kind of throwing some gridiron parts to it. So expect that. We'll have kind of a half episode, if you will, coming up after that. But getting back to what we were talking about, yeah, I mean, that's part of it now is like I go on Instagram and Mark's buddy that he met, he got the pack before everyone because he met him right in Arizona, and then he's posting it right away. And you're like, how do I level up? Not topping him. Not like, what do I do? You know what I mean? So it becomes an addiction to, get to where you want to be and with what you got, but what we all have behind us. Like, it's not a rate like, oh, I'm number one. No one's ever going to be number one unless you're, worth $100 million. Right. But you try to do as much that'll satisfies you at the end of the day. So yeah, I guess it could be as addicting as any kind of drug.
Yeah. Well, I was just using the heroin comparison because there was morphine. People got addicted to morphine in the turn of the century, the 19th, 20th century, and they created heroin to get people off morphine. So, he go from like one horrible drug, and that's why it was called heroin, because it's supposed to be like the heroin to get you off the addiction.
I mean, you have methadone. Like, isn't methadone supposed to? Okay.
Now you do.
Well,
all right,
that's
so-
just like
A drunk
Bobby.
kind of move.
hey, that was your history lesson for today. There you go.
Well, Bobby, it's just like I sold all my Marvel Universe 3 3/4, and then it just got me on Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
So it's it's actually a great analogy if you think about it, because it's
One
like
drug
you're
to
getting
another.
off one drug to another, and that's kind of what we deal with. You know, like I just spoke to you guys 2 minutes ago. I'm getting rid of a couple Origin figures because I don't want to get in the habit of, oh, but that one's cool, and then sooner or later the two that I bought is going to turn into 20 because they thought they were cool, and then wait, I only got 20, this 50, right? Like 20 is not good enough, because why do I have 20? I don't have, yeah, there you go. So I'm just like returning the two I have that I was dying to get, because I don't want to have to buy the rest. So I'm getting out of that line. You know, that's the only, getting out real early before I succumb to it. So yeah, it's an addiction.
I mean, I've got that whole shelf is full. Then I've on top of the shelf, as you can see, I've got all the like the battle armor and the deluxe ones.
Mm-hmm.
On top of, then behind those are the vehicles. So it does happen. You kind of fall down a rabbit hole, and I kind of like jumped off of other figures because like, I want the He-Man.
Right.
And now it's like, well, luckily shipping issues have kind of helped me a bit. So as we get into shipping, so one of the biggest complaints we've had, and actually, I'll be finishing it up, a mini episode. I unboxed this bad boy, Super 7's Ultimate Michelangelo, which is fantastic, and I'll have that up in a little bit. However, but the brothers have all been delayed half a year almost. You know, they're supposed to come out in like August, September. Now they've been pushed back to December, January, and March for the Samurai Leo. I mean, and we get updates all the time, and this is affecting a lot of more important things than action figures. But for us, like, how often do y'all go hunting for figures and we get nothing?
I mean, part of the hunt is, I think, setting your expectations. Like for me, it's everything from exercise is like one of the, it helps me get out of the house, it gives me fresh air. So because I've lowered my expectations, if I come across something, it is just a treat. Like it's just awesome, right? So I have some plunder to show off later that came directly from hunts, and of course helping out the homies. So it just depends. If you're like, you know, really you have to get rid of entitlement, because the more that you're entitled, like I deserve this figure, that figure better be on the pegs, it better be on the shelves. It's like, man, you kind of deserve the frustration. You invited that into your own life.
That's exactly why I try not to go hunting. It's the Leo in me, man. I've always got to be king. I've got to be first. So when I go and I have those expectations, I'm a negative Nancy. That's why, thankfully, I have the roommate that does it kind of for a living. So he's like, wait, he knows exactly what I need. So it's like, you know, yesterday is just boom, you know, like he found me that it's just easy. So, you know, otherwise, if I go and I don't get exactly what I want, I get mad. And then even when I know there's 7 at a store, I'm like, well, by the time I get there, the collectors will be, I'm already done before I even leave the house. Like I'm already defeated. In a way, though, my expectations are so low and I'm so negative that if I do find something, it's a nice surprise. I don't leave the house expecting anything. So it kind of works out.
Yeah. And I think also this while it is annoying, I think the hunt has also reestablished saying no. There are a bunch of times where I'm like, oh, and I'm like, but do I really need this figure? Like the McFarlane, like we've talked about, the McFarlane figures are fantastic. And I'm like, all right, if I find them in the wild, I'm gonna get them. But then I found them in the wild. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I didn't pre-order these. I had 95% buyer's remorse. 5% I would open up and they'd be kind of cool, but they look just bad. So, you know, I'm trying to find the bright side of some of these grinds. But now, going from the
wait,
fact
so you mean when you found the McFarlane, when you're talking about Batman 66, you had told us, right?
The Batman 66 one.
Wait, so did you order those?
No.
So
Same
you
here.
found them, and when you found them in hand, you didn't buy them, right?
Nope. I did not.
Okay, I got confused.
Sorry. Yeah. If I had pre-ordered them
Right.
and they came in, I would have been very disappointed
Right.
because I found them in hand across the store. And you know what? I'm going to say in half a year clearance, I'll buy them. But right now, for as little as they are, and here's where I think y'all will understand. All right, so
Okay, yeah.
I've got He-Man right here. He-Man Origins, $15. You know what? Posable. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and you know what? He's just they this is a good $15 toy now, like maybe like 16 with tax. That is $15 or $17 smaller in both height and scale, and I can't bring myself to spend that much money on it. Granted, Tom McFarlane did a great job with the Batmobile and the Batcave being so cheap. Cool. However, money and space and time to put it all together. I'm glad I found that in the wild because
So I want to. No, go ahead.
Because I'm glad I passed. I'm glad I passed.
Yeah. So I'm a Batman fiend. Like I was getting everything from DC Multiverse and even the retro figures. But once I got them and took a look at them, I was like, no, these are basic. I took them back, got my money back. I'll get my money back, no problem. Like lightning fast. Because I remember sitting down watching Batman the show after school, watching the movie, and it's like using nostalgia to give me a lesser product and charging me more money for it. It's like, we're not going to do that. It's like I could go hours on people like these toy manufacturers weaponizing nostalgia. So you got to be careful with that. And props to Todd, props to McFarlane Toys. But if it's going to be that much, like you said, compared to Masters of the Universe or other figures at that price point, we need more, basically.
Yeah,
And
KJ, while we're on the subject of McFarlane, I wanted you to bring up what you had said in the chat about what McFarlane himself said about toy addiction. So I think that would be a good segue.
Okay, yeah, I think it was actually our good friend and compatriot Michael Vlad who had brought up a documentary that Todd McFarlane was in. I think this is somewhere around 2002, 2004. But basically, he was saying like, we're going to use basically the components of addiction to sell these toys. You got to get this and you got to get that. You want this, well, then you have to get that. So for just a small example, the Batman Beyond figure, like how long have people been waiting on a Batman Beyond figure, like since we lost, DC Direct or DC Collectibles, right?
Yes.
So we got this 7-inch McFarlane's figure, looks dope, has wings, blast effects and whatnot. But if you want his signature batarangs, you have to buy a second figure. If you want a different face sculpt, you have to buy a second figure. There's nothing stopping McFarlane from including all of that in one package. Even if it was a $24.99 price point, you're not buying two figs. You're getting a figure with value. And he's depriving these figures of value, so completionists buy more than one figure. I bought a Batman Flashpoint, and then I bought the unmasked Flashpoint. It's the exact same figure, except one has a sword and an unmasked head, and that's it. And I was like, I'll never do this again.
Yeah.
So,
case in point, and y'all both hit on this brilliantly. Build-A-Figures, like Hasbro does a great job. Like, I've got a box full of like bits and like he looks like he was slaughtered. Like he's got no legs, he's got no head. My Ursa Major is still missing a leg because Riri Williams is hard to find now. The only reason I finished this guy was because I'm like, you know what? Let me just finish one Build-A-Figure. I haven't finished one in a while. He's cool looking, but I'm probably gonna. Actually, I might put Ursa. I might put Ursa Major's head on this guy and just make him like a really cool looking bad guy. But it's like, this is ridiculous.
Those damn BAF parts, man. And let's not forget, KJ, we love our classified, right?
Yeah.
We got
There we go. Me.
There you go.
There we go.
Halloween for him.
Hey,
No, I was just gonna say. Well, first we got redecos of 4 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Then they gave us Snake Eyes without Timber, knowing that we were gonna get one with Timber, but we still went ahead. And then they gave us a roadblock, knowing we were gonna get an artillery roadblock that's got the essential roadblock. So, we got our redecos, but then we didn't even get the complete figure that we wanted until later. But the completionists in us, that's another thing, is they know most people buying this stuff want all of them.
Yeah.
So they're gonna give us a minimum. Like we got Arctic Mission Storm Shadow before we don't even have a Storm Shadow. We went over that in the last episode. We showed off our articulated icons version. So yeah, this is methodically planned. This isn't by accident.
No,
right?
and
at the end of the day, they want money, and we're giving it to them.
Brilliant business move. It's a brilliant business move. I mean, like I've joked about a few times on this show, Hasbro giving me sending us the Transformers like box, and now I've got like 5 Transformers that I had never thought about getting before. I'm like, oh well, now I've got Transformers. And it's like, it's not. It's kind of like the pusher mentality. Like here's some free stuff.
Dude, it's the worst thing that ever happened to me was them giving me those 5 War for Cybertron
God
Transformers.
damn
Because
it.
I've spent, I'm gonna say in the thousands probably. Now I'm getting like the golden disc version of, I don't even know what this is, and no one does. It's got like its own story on the box or in the box. And
Yeah, just like combining GoBots and Transformers, like Puffer
it's
is
a
a combination
repaint.
of Pipes and Huffer. Yeah.
Dude, they came out with the mutant version of Tigertron before Tigertron, and just today, Tigertron, the images were leaked officially after the listing was leaked months ago when we bought it on Amazon. So it's like, and now a lot of these figures are delayed, by the way, for Transformers War for Cybertron until January, because Hasbro has to officially announce them, even though we've had them in our cart with Amazon for months, like 5 months already. So now the figures we thought we were getting next week that we weren't even announced, they're coming in January. So it's a big deal,
But and I think, and jumping from what you're saying, the leak, because like, oh, it's kind of like when Deadpool got leaked at Comic-Con. We all know Ryan Reynolds leaked it. We all know he and his team leaked the movie or the clip to see how the fan reaction. And now we're working on Deadpool 3. Like do you think they are methodically planned when to drop these leaks and pre-orders? Because is anyone really losing interest in Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe? Well, G.I. Joe is Trav has had conniptions on here before. The fact that we don't get Transformers, Fan First Fridays.
Wait, hold on.
What?
You guys held on. I love it. We have not gotten, and I've said this on every show, and I will continue to say it, we're doing shows like this because we have not gotten a G.I. Joe classified Fan First Friday since June the 4th. It is almost, by the time this goes up, it will be October.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had 7 Transformers, maybe 5 Transformer shows, 7 Power Ranger shows, 10 Marvel shows, maybe 3 or 4 Star Wars shows. 0 G.I. Joe in-house brand. It doesn't even cost them anything to do this. Like, they don't even have to pay Disney to give us a G.I. Joe Fan First Friday in the pipeline, and we've got nothing. We've got nothing.
But I mean, does that keep you interested though? Because you're not going to quit the line, are you?
Well, we talked about it on the last episode. It's people it's the power of social media.
Yeah.
It's great. It's people like, Mezco, Bobby Valato point. They've had severe delays with stuff, so they're kind of out. But Gridiron Props, it's just the G.I. Joe classified groups. There's like 10 or 12 pretty good groups, and it's a community with the customs. The eBay head sculpts that we wanted. Like I showed you the Snake Eyes comic sculpt. People are doing the Cobra with the hood. It's that stuff is keeping us going. Like that we're taking some of our Marvel Legends sculpts and making them better classified sculpts. Like
I just ordered Invisible Woman for my CoverGirl custom.
Yeah.
So
they see customs, and also the army building. You know what I mean? Like we can't keep buying any other classified line. So we've all pretty much got at least 5 of every. We've got all of us in this chat got. Yeah, we got 4 of every trooper now. I only originally wanted maybe 1 or 2 maybe of each, but I got 4 of each because I'm fucking bored because you're not giving a shit. There's no like, where's
The
a
famous Moody rant. All
where's
right,
a
there we
yeah,
go.
dude. Where's
But now,
Spirit, Iron Knife? You know, like where where's the Alley Vipers that are on the damn box? Like, come on, give us. So we get nothing.
Yeah, so it's and it's gonna be that way because we're just now getting Breaker showing up at certain targets. You can know who to ask. Moody, you yourself are the one who taught me how to use a DPCI, and that was getting me figs. Right.
Well,
so
now
when
it's
I
a
ren it,
TCIN.
okay, yeah, exactly. Pop Finder.
Yeah.
You know,
And hey, right here,
live.
man. Domo, arigato, gozaimasu. I was on set. Thank you so much for finding me Breaker this week. That was
You're welcome.
yeah, and that earned you a permanent spot on the show.
and
shit,
it checked up my card. So now I've gotten every member of the group a toy, and now none of you get anything from me ever again.
The card is punched. We're good.
This Ursa Major part is the last thing I'm giving any of y'all. So
I've had enough. The last call.
But now that you know, I'm looking at the notes here, and it's a good question. It is a very good question to ask you too. Because okay, two-parter. Do pre-orders still still interesting to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that so the pre-orders is what keeps, I think. This is me. Shout out to Dave Story. This whole show is more or less our conversation with him is kind of more or less. I want to give him the most props. Of course, KJ, Vlad as well. But we all had just a discussion of this in the chat, and I was like, "This is a hell of a podcast."
Yeah.
Right. So, but Dave said he doesn't agree. So this is what we should talk about. Like, he called it news and pipeline. You know, Star Wars is a pipeline. Why? To keep us interested, because we're still waiting, unless you got GameStop. We're still waiting for a lot of pre-orders from waves from months ago and last year. But the pipeline is like, ooh, okay, this is
what's coming.
I'm going to stick around because of this. He doesn't agree unless we actually see the releases. I mean, we're eventually going to get this stuff.
Right.
But I think with no news, no fan first whatevers, no pre-orders, would you really be interested in a line that just has nothing for months? How? No, you would be playing video games. You would be going outside.
You would be finding other sources of entertainment.
Yeah. Well, because Dave has it's meaningless or there's no delivery, which is very true. But
there's always gonna be one eventually.
We will get that. But look at K Wish, because he does the Super 7 Thundercats, and Wave 3 is gonna hit before Wave 2. Or 4 before 3. Like that doesn't make sense. But pre-order, I mean, you go to your Hasbro, like, what pre-orders do I have? You go to Amazon, you get a Big Bad. Like, you're like, okay, I've got these, I got these. But that also does kind of lead into, do I really need this? I have to bounce. Let me cancel all these. Is the pre-order a double-edged sword for both us and Hasbro or Mattel?
KJ.
Yeah, I would say yes. There's always pros and cons with any element of collecting, right? So we're talking about pre-orders. Let's just use the Marvel What If show as an example. So if you go on the Hasbro Pulse, you look at those What If figures, they'll say February 2022, right? I'm looking on YouTube, I'm looking on Facebook, on Instagram. People got these figures now. My man Bobby's got Zombie Captain America right now, right? So if you know where to look, if you know where to go, you can get them. Like, so I was searching. I almost dropped premium money at CMD store, at Toy Snowman, because I was like, fine, I'll get it from Canada. They're in Canada. I want them. I'm going to get them from Canada. All I had to do was just wait a week and a half. And I got basically 5 of those figures coming today. And it's going to be glorious, basically. I won't have the legs because I don't have Doctor Strange Supreme, but I think I have a workaround. But point is that I was willing to wait till February. And just knowing that I don't have to now, I'll go ahead and grab it. The thing is that now I have my What If figures. Am I going to move on to something else? More than likely, yeah. It's going to be Cosmic Legions, or it's going to be getting maybe the Master First. I didn't give a shit about Master First until Travis showed off those custom head sculpts, and it made the whole thing viable. And then they have King Grayskull coming. As you can tell, like black action figures are kind of my thing. It's like, so they got
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and dive into Master First if it makes sense. Hopefully, we'll see if those prices go down. If not, my money's spoken somewhere else. But getting those what if figures in hand means I don't have to focus on those anymore for months.
Right. So three things. The first one is exactly. I want to say, KJ, exactly. This is why I've been canceling. Most of hardcore collectors do is canceling my Amazon, Target, Pulse, whatever orders and jump and ship to GameStop. GameStop of all places coming through. Why? Number two, air freight. We're hearing that's the right. Is that the story? Is that what you're hearing?
That's the story. Yeah.
So they're going air, as we know. You're the one who shared the links initially. Something like 700, 7,000, whatever it is. The containers are way backed up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I guess finally they're starting to hit. And then even high priority companies are getting first bid. So we're starting to see some of the Hasbro stuff jump the ship. Because they're kind of, the smaller companies are going to get, the ones with the higher money. That's why we're seeing $22.99, not $19.99. So they can kind of pay that tax off. But GameStop, we got Tigra, Agent Carter, like every day. I just got Miles should be here today or tomorrow.
Okay, nice. Gamerverse.
And it said February. Miles Morales, Marvel Legends said February. On
that's
Amazon.
That ship speed right there. Yeah.
So that's the difference because we're actually getting the pre-orders that we're supposed to. But as we know, the pandemic is with the COVID and everything, Delta variant is caused severe delays to the ship. So number three, last point before I let you jump in is pre-orders. Think about it. You pre-ordered the what if and say you didn't get them fast. They know you pre-ordered it and your focus is on something else. So it's still gonna, you didn't pay for it until it ships maybe, but it's gonna come eventually and you're too occupied with Fantastic Four or X-Men or whatever it is. And then eventually it'll come. I think that's the power of the pre-order is they got you locked in and you could always cancel it. Sure. But most people probably don't, right? They're going to play the percentages. So.
I mean, just to piggyback on that, with COVID and this cursed blasted pandemic, you have dock worker shortages. You have truck driver shortages. We have school bus driver shortages, like where it's hazard pay because you're driving a bus filled with kids or whatever, right? So it's everything's being affected, and anything that's already on those boats right now, they're screwed. It's just going to be months until you can get those. You're talking everything from Instant Pots to medical supplies. Like it's a really scary situation. Port congestion in Los Angeles, Long Beach, Oakland, New York, wherever you have port cities, it's just going to be, as far as the eye can see, you're going to have containers falling off of ships because you have people not used to having to maintain all that space and all that volume for so long on a ship, right? So then you have something like the What If Legends or something that was supposed to arrive Q1 2022, but they've already been produced, they've already been tooled and painted and packaged. So it's like, put those shits on a plane so we can make some money. I got money. You want my money? Give me the figure. I don't want to be sitting, man, What If was a nice show 6 months ago. Like, no, give me. Like, they need to go ahead. If they have some of those episode 7, episode 8 figures, they need to release those now. I know you got them, Hasbro. Just do it. Let's go. Right? So it just depends on if you're willing to wait, if you're willing to be considerate of the climate and the environment that we're in right now, as far as being a collector, as far as just buying things. If you have gifts that you want to give to people, get them now. Don't wait. Otherwise, it's just going to be a gift card. It's because
you shared that link, I think, KJ.
Yeah.
About how Christmas is going to be Santa's going to be postponed a little bit.
Christmas is going to be in February because that's when this stuff is arriving. Right?
My mom's famous quote is "Christmas is canceled."
Christmas is canceled. It's true.
It for sure is this year with the ports.
Now, the other thing that and I've seen this a bit, and just in the fact that the mass volume, like I did have to cancel my Galactus. Shit happens. But that's also because I live in Texas, whereas in California, you kept getting stimulus payments. Texas didn't. So, just saying. Fuck you, Texas. All right.
Also, Wait, sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I would like to connect things. I didn't get Galactus because then I would have had to buy and it said this, the $400 plus Mezco ones.
No, you could have bought the Marvel Legends ones if you
I
wanted.
didn't like.
Marvel Legends, they're fantastic.
I do like. Oh, by the way, the thing is shipping from Dorkside, but the rest of the
Nice.
wave isn't. So if you bought the whole wave, they're not shipping it to you. But if you just bought the thing, you're getting it now.
Well, we talked
How
about.
fair is that, Robert?
I mean, look, because we talked about this when we were
They're
talking
trying to
about
save
Galactus,
pennies.
huh?
Yeah. No, I'm saying they're trying to save pennies.
Oh yeah.
And I get they're a mom and pop company, but that's bad practice in my thing. Like someone's gonna get thing today, and then you're not because you bought the whole wave. You're giving them more money, but you gotta wait. Who knows?
I mean,
right?
that does
four
suck.
months.
And that is, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But you know, I had to cancel Galactus. I was trying, but because well, I gotta pay bills.
No, yeah. That thing's
I
expensive.
see a lot of people, you know, saying I hope my yeah, I know it's jokingly, but still ordering like, you know, 3, 4, 5 Galactuses and like hoping my wife doesn't find out. Motherfucker, you better have made sure that you had your shit taken care of. Because that's what 5 times 400. That's like 2K. And some people, yeah, some people can just do that. I get it. Cool. Other people, are people kind of like taking this a bit to the extreme with collecting? KJ, we'll go with you first.
I think you need to know your limits. You know, like I wanted the Sentinel, I didn't get a Sentinel. I wanted Galactus, I didn't get a Galactus. You know, but you know, I'm a troop builder. So what used to be a $20, $22 figure is now a $23, $25 figure. Yeah. So case in point, if you saw the What If episode 8, it was awesome. So without spoilers, yeah.
Thank you.
So I have some Ultrons, and they are amazing, right? But there was a time that these 4 Ultron figures would have been $88. Now they're $100, which means I have to put limits on what else I troop build, which means I'm probably not going to be troop building.
Well, I think troop building, while KJ kind of froze her a bit, I think troop building is insanely smart, greedy, but smart business practice by Hasbro. In that, okay, you want like I don't have any of the troop figures. I don't have the Skrull. I didn't get any of the Red Ninjas for Marvel Legends. I didn't get any of the Cobra Troopers for G.I. Joe. I avoided all troop building just for that very reason. It's like, look, if I get one, I'm going to need a few more to put in 2 different positions or whatever. So I think you're making a great point there. Like,
I was just gonna say, when I first started collecting the classified line, I made fun of the army builders. Remember KJ? I made fun of the troop
you
builders.
did.
Guess who's won? Guess who's a big one?
No.
I don't have 12 ninjas like Dave or 16 infantry like KJ or whatever, but I've got a lot now. I've got like 12 total soldiers, I guess, or 14. And that, thankfully, it's the real guns now and like the compacts, and we'll talk about some of that on the next show, but it's the stalling of releases for these figures, because I wouldn't care about armies if you're giving me the whole G.I. Joe army.
Yeah.
Like at least a lot of them, when I only have 5 Roadblocks, 3 Scarlets, 4 Dukes, 3, 7 Snake Eyes, and no one else, I'm going to build my own army.
Breaker,
you're not giving me the army. So
yeah. No, there's people out there, they bought 6 breakers. They have all their Joes on motorcycles.
I've seen that.
Whatnot. Yeah.
It's there's the picture right there. We'll throw it.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hey, if I'd never tell people how to collect or whatnot, I hooked up my buddy with about 6 He-Man and 6 Skeletor so that he could like set off his customization empire. But they were like on clearance. They were cheap as hell.
Yeah.
And he paid me back. I didn't like just here, have a dozen figures. Like, I got them on clearance. Yeah, exactly. He paid me back.
It's Christmas. KJ's here.
All these people, and keep in mind, all these people pay me back. So yeah, I got Travis a breaker. He paid me.
Right.
And Robert, we'll talk later about
yeah,
It does.
the-
It does
I'm not
feel
gonna
a
do-
lot like Christmas, living obviously with K Wish, and then living close to Dave's Story, because those guys are premier hunters. So
They are.
they are my local Santa Claus. Love you,
Yeah.
love both of you guys. Thank you for constantly looking for things for me when I'm not able to. So I appreciate it. But yeah,
Yeah, and they do it for you even though you don't deserve it.
Should be getting coal, but no, you get wonderful toys.
I was born this way. What can I
I'm
say?
kidding. You know, it's all love.
So before we get into plunder, and as we've talked about, but let me. Well, and I think I know the answer to this, but have y'all, or do y'all know anyone who has like not gotten food because they needed an action figure?
I mean, there were times where I had to take stuff back because I needed grocery money because I wasn't being smart, but I'm a lot smarter now. So that hasn't happened for a very long time. And it was embarrassing when it does happen, right? And pre-orders, it happened because I had a whole bunch of November, December stuff arrive back in July. And I was like, whoa, I had just came from Avengers Campus. If I had known that stuff was coming in, I would have just stayed home and boiled up some rice. So I had to return some stuff that I still have yet to have gotten back. Like I returned Modular Iron Man, and I'm still waiting for it to come back at a decent price because I kind of don't want to pay the $22.99 when I had bought it for $19.99 at Target, stuff like that.
Fair enough.
It definitely affects the way you live when you collect as much as we do, or have any hobby. Like if you're a big time video game person or whatever. I'm a pretty solid gamer. I'm not as big of a gamer as I was, but I make sure I have all the big consoles and stuff. But when you're spending, God, who knows, right? What do we spend? Sometimes we can spend up to $300 a week on toys. You're gonna eat groceries, and you're not gonna buy the best ones. You're not gonna go out to eat as much. A lot of times, I live with a friend, so it's like, oh, should we do takeout tonight? And I'm like, no, man, I'm eating bagged brown rice and a veggie patty because I just spent $100 on a Spider-Man 2099, figuring I paid for it all. So I don't want to spend another 20 on, takeout and all that. So yeah, it affects your weekends a little bit, but I think it does kind of teach you life lessons in a way too, because we're getting stuff in our hand, right? And we get to keep it for a long time, and we can resell it. You can't really resell like some steak fajita you wolf down instead of, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I get some people want to live it up every day. I don't, unless we have a great job. I don't think this toy collecting is for them. You almost have to make a choice sometimes, like, all right, maybe on Sundays I'm going to treat myself, go out for a couple of drinks and get some food, maybe go out and watch NFL or something. You can't live that life every day unless, you're a scalper or you got another job or whatever. But yeah, it kind of teaches you priorities in a way. And like, if you replace toys with children, bills, like, all right, maybe going out to eat every day is not smart because, so even though it's toys, it's what we love. It can kind of teach you certain ways to use your money in a strange way, even though it's plastic. And it's foolish because we're all 30, 40 years old, but it kind of like, maybe your spending habits are somewhat better in a way. It's kind of weird to look at it that way, but
let me ask you all this. And then we'll get into like, if there's anything else that we haven't talked about that really grinds, our gears on action figures. But do you see a difference in your spending from pre-pandemic to, granted, we're still in the pandemic, but pre to like 2020, 2021 to maybe post? Do you see a difference in your spending or how? Because like we said, this kind of got us through the pandemic. It really did. Like the action figures really got me through 2020 because we couldn't go anywhere. It's like, all right, well, I can't go to the movies. I can't go out. I can't do anything.
But what happens, Bobby, when we can? That's kind of the dilemma I'm facing now is, and then also I'll be honest, in the beginning of the pandemic, I used Macari a lot and found a great way to support I sold things I had around the house that weren't new. Like I actually got out of the sneaker game and I love being the elite with the young bucks because they buy shoes on every episode, and I live through them and can see all the Dior ones and all these sneakers that cost $1,000, $500. Because I will never, I can't say it, never say never, right?
Never
But
say never. Yeah.
I haven't bought a brand new pair of Jordans in maybe 2 years. So I'm doing pretty good. But the last 2 years, how much money have I spent on toys? Probably way more than I would on sneakers, but at least I'm not doing both. So you might shift your priorities a little bit.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, I'm thinking, what did I spend money on before the pandemic? Well, vacations. I traveled a lot, other than going home for a month just so I could see my family for the first time in 2 years. I really haven't gone anywhere. You know what I mean? I've been here and it's fine. And I'm okay with it. You know, like instead of the plane fare and the hotel fare and all that stuff, I'm buying this stuff. You know, it's kind of, I'm shifting. Instead of sneakers and vacations and whatever else it was, it's this. You know what I mean? I'm okay being at home more. You know, that kind of, you know, especially we were forced to be at home for a good 6-8 months and somewhat still even now. So we got things at home we like, and we kind of like home better.
We had a nest. We nested.
Yeah, because we were forced to it. So, you know, it is nice to help the economy, tip our waiters and our waitresses and our bartenders and stuff. But also, if you're collecting, it's hard to do that every day, you know. So,
KJ?
When the pandemic started, this is like right before, this is like right when Star Trek Picard first aired, right?
Okay.
So I was freaking out. I had gotten the flu like back in February, and even then, like COVID was in the news. I was like, oh shit, this is it. And it ended up being the flu. I was like, thank goodness, right? And I had a couple of sleepless nights where I was like, is this it? Is this how I go? It's some dark shit, right? So, you know, I'm a big Star Trek nerd, Trekker. So I loved having Picard. Picard was like the first thing that soothed me during that. And that manifested itself in Eagle Moss starships. And then one thing led to another. The Last Dance, I was hunting down Jordans. I was like, oh man, I got to get the 9s. I got to get the flu games. I got to get this and that. I was on StockX looking for Jordans and that kind of stuff, right? And then I think what it was that New York Toy Fair, and they debuted the 6-inch Joes. So I remember when, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra came out, and then you had G.I. Joe Resolute on Adult Swim, and there were those 3 3/4 figures were making a big splash, and I was dirt poor, so I wasn't getting any of those. I wasn't getting the anniversary figures. I wasn't getting Collectors Club, none of that, right? It's just outside looking in. And this time I had a bit more money in my pocket. I'm like, we're not doing that. I'm getting in, right? So I got the first wave from GameStop. It was on sale. I passed the Snake Eyes Deluxe, kept kicking myself, almost did like Travis did and almost paid that iron price until they brought it back for PulseCon. And I was like, all right, I got it. And that's when I was like in, right? Getting to meet Travis during Joe hunting was worth it. Meeting all of y'all.
Yeah, we have a very similar path from the, you know, kind of getting resurged into toys.
Yeah, because we need something to do. And we need something to express ourselves. Like there's a reason we like Joe. There's a reason we like Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters and everything else. Star Wars, man, your Star Wars collection puts mine to shame. I remember I was like, man, Travis is a real cool dude. I gave him for a housewarming gift a Remnant Stormtrooper, and I've regretted it ever since because I can't find it. I want it. Give me. But no, I can't. I love you, Travis. The point is, we all love this stuff, right? And we don't get to say who's a true fan, who isn't, how to express yourself, how not to. I went through that in the Joe groups. There are some good Joe groups, some good Joe groups, and some not so good, where they tell you how to play your toys. You can't tell me nothing. Like, no, you do what you do. I do what I do, right? So I props to Toy Kind of Mood that we've never done that with each other. Like, you want to do sci-fi, weirdo, Flash Gordon, G.I. Joes? Go for it. You want to do tactile, AK-47 G.I. Joes from the comic books? Do it, man.
Oh, this is a discussion that Kay Wish and I have all the time because he has continuity everywhere, and I don't. I'm like, I'll pick the Falcon I like. I'll pick the version of Iron Man I like, and it could be from the comics, the video games, the movies, the TV shows. It's all going to be one Marvel universe, you know, in the Moodyverse, as I call it. So some people are like, this scene is from this page in this comic, like, or this scene from the movie. So everyone's got their own way, and that's the beauty of what we do, right?
Yeah. And you can express yourself. And I would say for me, forecasting the 2022, if I am going to continue toy collecting, it's going to be something like Cosmic Legions. That's a premium. Like I love that space age pulp cover, sci-fi, retro future look. That is my bag. There's like there's nothing more me right now than Cosmic Legions. And then, I like the fact that you get your value, you get more what you pay for when you do get a Mezco figure, when you do get something import, like what we're seeing right now. I'm used to paying FedEx International and DHL. You'll pay $30, $40 shipping to get the figure now. Otherwise, you're going to wait 5 or 6 months, right? Because it's on that boat. That's just what it is. So I don't see myself doing this Hasbro stuff. Like that's where that hashtag retired thing comes from. Even though, yeah, I keep dipping back into the waters, but it's well, what if is dope. What if is dope though. So I'm getting everything having to do with what if. So cool. Take that, Travis. Bye. Yeah.
All right. So as we wrap up this episode, I feel that it's just good to just say, you know what? As much as we have our major issues with action figures and with the big companies, we still buy it. And we still have plunder. So I've got real quick plunder, and my plunder actually comes from flipping my comic. I had some key issues, and I like 2 small Walmart boxes full of comics that I flipped because, like we were saying, like sometimes we have to have priorities. Right now, while I do love my comic books, and I keep there are certain runs I do not get rid of. My Uncanny X-Men run, like I still try and find stuff to fit into it from the 70s, but I flipped a lot. And in that flip, I got Colossal Chrome Dome, which is awesome. And by the way, the Super 7 turtle, like I said in my unboxing, fits perfectly with that figure. So both Super 7 and NECA were fantastic. And on top of that, I'm not showing the figure because this will be one of the next unboxings. Sideshow Worthy Cap.
Whoa. Luckily,
I had the first appearance of Riri Williams, like in 3 different comic books. So 3 comic books paid for this, but yes, that I was showing it to Trav, and I'll show you offset KJ, but Hot Toys delivers.
Yeah.
All right, that is my plunder. KJ, you're next, buddy. What you got?
All right, I'll make it real fast. I got that Stealth Iron Man.
Nice. I love that stealth.
Yeah, I got the head sculpt to be my for a future Daltone custom, but it's so nice that it needs to stay Tony Stark. So I'm gonna try to get the exactly. Yeah. And I had to get the 80th anniversary one instead because that comes with the head sculpt too. Shout out to Motu Squad if you're watching. Thank you for coming through. My buddies were all big Motu nerds, specifically with Origins. Love this one.
Great. That's why I'm getting rid of my Hordak and Ninja because I'd want that one.
I got the Nah.
Oh, Nah. I didn't get Nah yet. Nah, he got me. He beat
and
me
I may I can't troop build these right now, so you have to pick and choose. So I was like, what if I got the Ultrons? I got a few more Ultron coming in the way. Needed to get that, but the creme de la creme, the piece de la resistance, Goliath.
Nice. How is that?
Huh?
How is that?
It looks beautiful.
Oh,
so
that is nice.
I have not opened it yet. I may save it for the gram. I may save it for a future project. Hashtag Black Genghis. There is a great company, Vallejo Colors, and they make a cracking medium. So basically, if you combine that with paint, when it dries, it cracks. I kind of want to get a second one, and I kind of want to use cracking medium to make it look like Goliath is stone and he's cracking out of the stone.
That's awesome.
Am I crazy, or is that...
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, but no, not to us.
Okay, thank you.
He's crazy.
All right, Trav, what you got?
Speaking of crazy, if I wanted to show a real plunder, this would take an hour. It would be another episode.
Yeah, so we've seen your picture.
Yeah,
it's been crazy because I told you a word we use way too often is GameStop, and they've been nonstop with just every day giving us stuff to buy that's in stock that isn't out till Minimum 2 weeks to 6 months.
Christmas 2022.
Before you go any further, can I just say one thing about GameStop? Kudos for a company that was going under because they couldn't buy back video games to save their life. Like, oh, how much? I bought this yesterday from you. It's $50. I can give you a quarter. Cool. Well, F off. To go, you know what? Let's pivot to action figures, a fraction of the cost. And you know what? Here you go. Here's all your action figures.
You're right.
And
And
you
on
know
top,
what? And since that happened, we haven't heard anything about them going bankrupt.
Right.
No.
Why? Because we're funding GameStop.
Give the people what they want.
And I'm legitimately, literally funding GameStop because I was able to secure a Halo Edition Xbox Series X. So it from GameStop. So it better not go under because this is my only chance of getting it since I had it like added to cart, I think for 45 minutes straight on Walmart and didn't work. So quickly, I mean, look, Eternals, they have the whole wave. This is the only one I thought was cool. I don't have enough villains. I've got 9,
No.
Avengers and no one to fight besides Thanos. So this is going to be his homie. I don't even care. Continuity out the window.
They're
Don't
both
care.
deviants. There you go.
Don't care. Okay. Nobody beats Ashka. What can I say? Thank you, K Wish, founder. She was even $18.99 at Walmart. She was $22.99, I think, on Amazon. So love canceling pre-orders. It's my hobby. I love it. Speaking of goats, Dave Story.
I
Right.
need that
he
one,
found-
damn it.
Oh, well, get Bobby one next time. But yeah, there you go. Nice, sweet looking cap.
That's awesome.
And remember the story. I thought I got this on BBTS because it's Infinity Saga, not Infinity War. I was like, nah, I don't need that. Wait. I think I do. Let me check. And then there was the one with, the mask, the Infinity War cap, and this is the Nomad cap. So thanks for clearing that up, KJ. And if you smell what Moody's cooking, Ultimate Edition Rocky
That's nice.
in here.
Nice.
Not anywhere near as hard to get as that Amazon one that goes for a lot of bucks. Thanks Christian Orozco on that one. But yeah, this is pretty. It's hard. Wait, Bobby, you got one right?
No,
Oh,
Can't
but
get
it's on Target.com. So
can't get him.
or I might.
Oh
still-
wait, I sent the link though.
Used to be linked, but like we said, sometimes you have to pay for certain things.
Yeah,
that-
exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Why are you
I
gonna
feel
throw a man under the bus like that? No, I'm just messing. So all right, so these weren't even announced by Hasbro yet, and Waspinator and Shadow Panther were at
nice.
Target. They're not even. Yeah. So K-Wish had a hell of a hunt day, and pays to be his roommate. But thanks, man. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Dave, KJ for the breaker. We'll talk about him on
Oh yeah.
Sunday or Monday or whenever.
Yes.
But when we get our gridiron packs, not gonna throw those. But yeah, so yeah, it was been a great last couple weeks. Not for the bank account, but the good thing is the pre-order list is still big,
Mhm.
but it's not like pages. It's not like 3 pages. It's like
Right,
a
it's
half a
shrinking.
page.
Yes.
It's shrinking. It's shrinking. So go check out geekshavegame.com. I will update my pre-order list, which will help a lot of you guys out too. But I don't know. Bobby?
Yeah, no, my pre-order list, luckily they've been pushed back to November, December, and January, so I have time to buffer the wallet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I got
have,
that.
Yeah, I got some Mezco stuff coming in. I got some Storm collectible coming in, and of course the Four Horsemen's Cosmic Legion. So I'm just saving money. I'm boiling that rice. I'm boiling those beans. I'm boiling that pasta.
You got to
And
make
it's
the
all-
sacrifices.
It's
Yeah.
all going to figs, baby. A jar
Right.
of pasta sauce goes a
Right.
long way,
It's
baby.
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, someone asked me to go get dinner and go hang out, and I was like, no, because I watched D Amazing's review of Evil Ryu. Couldn't find it on every site except Big Bad Toy Store had it, and I'm like, damn it, pile of loot. Boom.
Dude, try Agabus. All right, AGABYSS. I mean, maybe they sold out, but it's like I'm that guy. I'm that guy that will go to one-off places and get that stuff. If they come through and send me stuff, I add it to the list. I'm like, okay. So
Okay, cool. But yeah, BBTS has had Evil Ryu as of a couple of nights ago, but I watched that review and he goes great with the
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Storm collectibles figures I have, and all three of those face sculpts on that figure are great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to show it off on a future show, but that's the way it goes.
Nice.
Skipping a night out, getting a figure. So that's the internal struggle we have sometimes. It's a lot of fun, right? Right, guys?
True. It's true. I don't have that issue anymore because I start putting a lot more money now towards a certain event in January. So that being said, that is the end of episode 45. What's grinding our gears? The grind date. As always, this will be up soon. We've got our episode 44 with Gridiron Studios. We've got a few unboxings coming up. We've got episode 46 coming up, which you will be what? Y'all two and Dave doing
maybe Dave, or maybe just me and Dave, or maybe just me and KJ.
We'll see.
Beautiful thing is this is a toy kind of mood now.
Yeah.
So just let everyone know these three fellas you're seeing on the screen, this is a toy kind of mood, and we have friends. And if they want to come party with us,
holy shit,
we got.
If Bobby Brown wants to come back to New Edition, he's always welcome. But it's still New Edition.
Exactly.
Could say it any better, guys.
Remember, if you like what you saw, like and subscribe because we need the subscriptions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to whore yourself out. All right. As always, he is KJ and Travis. I am Bobby. We will see you in the toy aisles. Be good.
Peace.